Hello grammar mates, it's me again, Teacher Ralph, and this is Considersat School online teaching class. And today's lesson, we're going to learn about present of be statements. What are these present of be statements? So, today's lesson, I'm your grammar buddy, Teacher Ralph. I'll be helping you to learn about grammar. We will use the book Focus on Grammar 1. And this is lesson for grade 3 students. Are you ready, guys? Yes, me too. Okay, let's start with a question. Okay, what is a be verb? Be verb or verb to be is an irregular verb, and its form is different from all other verbs. So, it is the most used verb in English, and it is very important. Okay, before we start the lesson, let's listen first to a very fast video clip about present be verbs and the verb to be. Okay, what are the verbs to be? And let's have a look, very fast look about what are these be verbs are. Okay, let's start.
I ต้องใช้กับ am You ต้องใช้กับ are We ต้องใช้กับ are They ก็ต้องใช้กับ are I am You are We are They are
They are.
He ต้องใช้กับ is
He is.
She ต้องใช้กับ is
She is.
It ต้องใช้กับ is
It is.
He she it ต้องใช้กับ is
Good job.
He is She is
She is.
It is
It is.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba, I am You are We are They are He is
He is.
She is It is Ba-da-ba-da, I am You are We are They are He is She is It is
Okay, that's it. Did you like the music? Okay, great. Okay, for our lesson, proper lesson, the be verbs, according to the song, we use the be verbs is, am, and are. Okay? Is, am, are. So in pronouns, we use is, am, are for singular pronouns and plural pronouns. Okay? So what are the singular pronouns again? Can you remember in our previous lessons? We have verbs to be is, am, are. So are can be a singular too. Okay? And for singular pronouns, pronouns plus the be verbs, we have he, she, and it. Again, he, she, and it. So, if the pronoun or the noun is added with be verb, the be verb that should be followed after he, she, and it should be what? Is. Okay, good job. And letter B, how about the pronoun I? Can remember? Anybody can remember? I am. Yes, according to the song, use am. I am. And for letter C, you are. For singular, you. If I ask someone, you are. So, when we talk, remember, when you use the pronouns he, she, and it, should follow with the verb to be is. When you talk about I, you should follow it with the verb to be am. And you, for instance, should follow with the verbs to be are. Okay? And for negative form, you should only add the word not. Okay? So we say, he is not, she is not, and it is not. I am not, you are not. So, affirmative to negative. Okay? How to identify if it's a affirmative sentence or a negative one. Okay? We have here some examples of affirmative sentence. I am a teacher. I am a teacher. I am a teacher. Yes, I am a teacher. He is a teacher. He is a teacher. Is he a teacher? He is a teacher. That is affirmative. You are a teacher. Are you a teacher? So I will say, you are a student. That is affirmative sentence. We are using am is an are. But for negative, you will say, I am not a teacher. I am not a teacher. So it should be followed with the word not. He is not a teacher and you are not a teacher. That is a negative because we can see the word not. Okay? It's easy to identify which is affirmative and which is the negative. Okay? So instead of saying I am not, you will say I'm not. For contractions. Okay? He is not, you will say he is not. And you are not becomes you're not. So negative can be also contracted. Okay? Affirmative can also be contracted, but we will focus on contraction with the negative form. Okay? How about the other negatives? Negative contraction, you say he is not becomes he isn't. Or you will say you are not or you're not becomes you aren't. You aren't. Okay? For the second topic, plural pronouns using are. So remember, in singular, we only use is, am, and are. But in plural form, remember, in the singular pronouns, we use is, am, and are. But for plural form, we always use the verb to be are. Never use am and is. Okay? So in plural form, you will always use the verb to be are. Okay, remember, you, they, and we. We use verb to be are. Verb to be are. Okay, you are, they are, and we are. For negative sentences, you will add again the word again. Can you say it? I know you know it. Not. Not. You are not, they are not, and we are not. For negative statements, okay? You are not teachers. We are teachers, they are teachers. We use they are not teachers or we are not teachers. For the negative contractions, you are not becomes you're not, and we are not becomes we were not, and they are not becomes they are not. But you can also use you aren't. You aren't. Or say we aren't and they aren't. Contractions can be used both of those examples. Okay, let's start. Let's do some exercise. Okay, please open your book in exercise number 1, text completion. Complete the conversation. Use the words from the box. Okay, as you can see, we have different kinds of verbs to be up there. We have the contracted form, and we have also the complete form, are and is, also with the word am. Okay? Remember, contracted form of is apostrophe s, and apostrophe re is for contracted form of the word, a verb to be are. Okay? Okay, exercise number 1. Mark. Mark says, hi Steve. Steve answered, hi Mark. Mark, this. So as you can see, we have a singular form of demonstrative pronoun this. So we will use the verb to be is. This is my cousin Amy. And this, again, singular, is her friend Jenny. So singular, this is my cousin, or number 1, and this is her friend Jenny. Did you get it? I know it's very easy, right? Mark says, "Hi, nice to meet you." And what should be the reply? "Nice to meet you too." Correct. Okay, that's it for the exercise number 1. Let's try to answer exercise number 2. Could you help me? Okay, according to this exercise, look at the pictures, put the check next to the true statement. So, the statement, as we have discussed in earlier, we have the affirmative statements and can also be a negative statements. How can you identify if it's affirmative? It's affirmative if you use is, am, and are. But it's negative when you use not. But affirmative and negative can be both true. Even if it's negative, it cannot be a true statement. Or if it's affirmative, it can also be a false statement. Okay? Okay, let's try to understand. Okay, exercise number 2, we have here, Juan Perez and Carlos are from Mexico. So that is an affirmative statement. Asma Narif is from Egypt. Wang Picho is from Taiwan. And Gabriel is from Brazil. Okay, so I use affirmative statements by telling you where are they from. For example, I say Juan Perez and Carlos are from. I use are, from. They're from Mexico. That is an affirmative. But when I say Asma Narif is not from Egypt, I use a negative form, but it is gonna be false because Asma Narif is actually from Egypt. Use negative form, but it is false. Okay, let's try to understand this by having an example number 1. Let's read number 1 first. I'm Wang Pincho. I'm from Egypt. Look at where is Wang Pincho from. Wang Pincho above at the right. Yes, at the right here. Is from Taiwan. He said, I'm from Egypt. That is an affirmative. I am. But is it true or false? It's false. So we will not check number 1. Okay? Because Wang Picho is from Taiwan. He said, I'm from Egypt. That statement is false. Statement is in affirmative form, I am from Egypt, but it is false. Number 2, this is Gabriel. Gabriel Silva. Okay, she's from Brazil. Is she from Brazil? Yes or no? Yes, according to the sentence, it is an affirmative statement. She is from Brazil. She is from Brazil. It's an affirmative statement. How to make it in negative? If it's negative, if you put the word not. She's not from Brazil. But you use she's from Brazil. Okay? She's from Brazil. It's an affirmative statement. And is it true? Look at the shapes above. Gabriel Silva is from Brazil. True. So we put check on number 2. Did you get it? Number 1, it's an affirmative statement. I am. Number 2, she is also affirmative statement. But number 1, he says, I'm from Egypt. But Wang Pincho is actually from Taiwan. So the sentence is false. Number 2, she's from Brazil. Gabriel is from Brazil. It's true. So it is also an affirmative statement. So we put the check on number 2. Okay, let's try to answer also exercise number 3 using is or isn't. Let's see. Is an affirmative and isn't is a negative. Let's try to check if it's the sentence is true or is it false. Okay, New York, blank, the capital of United States. What is the capital of United States? As I can remember, capital of United States is Washington, D.C. So, according to this sentence, New York is the capital blank, the capital of the United States. But as I have remembered, as I have known that the capital of the United States is Washington, D.C. So, it is not New York. So, the answer would be New York is not the capital of the United States. Okay? New York isn't the capital of United States. Okay, that is true. Okay, number 2, Brasilia. Brasilia blank, the capital of Brazil. Is it true that Brasilia is the capital of Brazil? Correct. So we will use an affirmative verb to be, which is the verb to be is. And number 3 and number 4, let's try to understand 3 and number 4. Toronto is the capital of Australia. Is or isn't? Okay, the capital of Australia, we have Sydney and another capital. We have Sydney, so Toronto is not the capital of Australia. So you put the answer, isn't. And lastly, number 4, Cairo is not the capital, absolutely not the capital of Canada. What is the capital of Canada? Toronto, correct. So, you finish answering exercise number 1, 2, and 3? Great. For your homework, please answer exercise number 2, numbers 3 to 8, okay? So, you finish answering exercises 1, 2, 3, and 4? Great. Let's have a recap. For our recap, let's go to pronouns and the be verb. Okay? Let's see. He, she, and it uses the verb to be is. I, on the other hand, use the verb to be am. And you, we, and they should use the verb to be are. Okay? For the negative statements, we always add them with the word not. Okay? He is not, I am not, and you are not. Okay? Okay, we have here pronouns, I and you. We add them with am or are, or the verb to be, and late. I am late. You are late. So, in negative form, you'll say, I'm not late. You're not late. I'm not late. You're not late. In contraction, you will say, I'm not late. You're not late. Or you can say, you aren't late. Instead of saying, you're not late, you aren't late can do. Okay? For pronouns, he, she, and it, we put negative statement by adding the word not. He is not late. He is not late. She is not late. And it is not late. Okay? For contraction, we use he's not late, she's not late, it's not late. But another form of contraction, we say he isn't late, she isn't late, or it isn't late. Again, he is not becomes he's not, or you can use the other contraction, he isn't. Can you see the difference? These are the same negative form of statements. He is not, he is not, he isn't. This is the full form, the contraction form, contracted form, and another contracted form. Okay? The same with you, we, and they. You are not. For affirmative, we have you are late, you are, we are, and they are. But for negative form, you will add not, you are not. This is the negative form. For contracted, you add, you delete the first letters. You will say, instead of saying are, you will contract them with the first pronouns. So in you, you will say you're not, we're not, and they're not. And you can contract them you will say you aren't, we aren't, and they aren't. Okay? These are two different contraction form of the verb to be. Okay, you can contract them with the pronoun, or you can contract them with a negative word not. Okay? Okay, I am, he, she, and it uses is, and you, we, and they uses are. Okay? Up next, we will study about the affirmative and negative form. Okay, we finished that already. Up next, we will study about contracted affirmative and contracted negative. Thank you for listening for today. I am your grammar buddy, Teacher Ralph. Signing off. Bye!